I had a viewer ask a great question and I wanted to answer it here. The question is, hey Azul, how much income do I need to make in order to be able to retire early? And there's really two parts to the question and two parts to the answer. The first is, how much income do you need to make before you retire? And for that, the answer is, it's not how much you make, it's how much you save. I've shared before that over half the people in America making more than $100,000 a year don't save a dime. And would I rather be in that situation or making $70,000 a year and saving 15 or 20% of my salary? I'd much rather be making the lower salary but saving some money, right? It's not how much you earn, it's how much you save. And hopefully regular viewers of my channel, if you're making good money, you're able to save a fair amount of it. We're raised and the media tells us save 10% of your salary and you're going to be fine. I wish that was the case. I hope that's the case for you. If you get lucky and have great investment returns, that might be the case for you. But for most of us, I think we're better served trying to save 15 to 25% of our salary. And I know that's hard to do. I know that's aspirational, but that's the reality. I'd rather tell you the truth here than have you get to 50 or 60 years old and have a negative surprise. By the way, I hope you're enjoying the sound of this, the beautiful sound here, the sound of the sound, if you will, here in the Northwest where I'm located. Okay, so the second part of this question, though, is how much do you need to actually income in retirement? And we're all different. As humans, we're adaptable. But let me give you some numbers that I think you might find helpful. And that is, first off, the per person median retirement income, this is per person, is $48,000 a year. That's what their income is. And the median household income for people 65 and older is $70,000 a year. And then the median household net worth is $280,000. And again, just as a reminder, net worth is the value of all of your assets, your retirement accounts, your savings account, and importantly, any real estate that you might own, less any debt that you might have. So if you have $10,000 in credit card debt, I hope you don't. If you have a $100,000 mortgage, you'd add up all of your assets and then subtract the debt that you owe. For most people, for most viewers of my channel, their biggest asset is going to be their home, and then their biggest debt is likely going to be the biggest debt, and hopefully only debt will be their mortgage. So that's how you determine your net worth. Again, median net worth is $280,000. So if you look at the average Social Security check, and I'm switching from median to average because that's how it's given by the Social Security Administration. The average Social Security check for a person is $1,800. This is as of November of 2022, a little bit less actually. And then the average spousal benefit in Social Security is about half of that. Let's call it $800. So per household, if there's two people in a household, that would be $2,600. So that's what's coming in Social Security. The median household expenses for a family 65 and older, so more than likely two people in a house, the kids are probably grown, not always, but median household, I'm going to stand up here, the median household expense is $4,000 a month or $48,000 a month, and you can see the numbers add up very, very well here, right? So if Social Security is giving you $2,600 a month, and then on top of that, let's say of that 280K investment using the rule of 4%, you're roughly getting $1,000 a month, right? So that's $3,600 a month. And remember, the bogey here, in order to cover expenses, is $4,000 a month. So Social Security, $2,600 a month. And then from the investments, let's call it $1,000 a month. So there's a gap of $400 a month. So people are likely taking out a little bit more than 4% in order to hit that number. So I hope that makes sense. So those are the numbers. So I think if you have an income, if you can add up the numbers, and if you're retiring early, right, most Americans can start. This is not financial advice. I'm not a Social Security expert, but most people can start taking Social Security at 62. So let's say you're at 55. Well, you have to kind of figure out, what is the income that you need, and start with expenses. We're adaptable. For some people, being able to retire at 50 and go live in Southeast Asia, where the cost of living in many countries there is less expensive than the US. Maybe instead of $4,000 a month, you can get by on $3,000 a month. I lived there. I was nomadic there for 2 months, not for 2 years, but for long enough to know that, you can live pretty nicely in Southeast Asia on $2,000 a month. Now, you still got to figure out what you're going to do for healthcare. And that's, I call it the healthcare donut, the gap, the healthcare gap. If you retire at 50, you're not going to qualify for Medicare. Again, this isn't financial advice. See a professional. I'm not a Medicare expert, but most Americans don't qualify for Medicare until they're 65. So if you retire at 50, what are you going to do for the next 15 years? Now, it is a solvable problem, but you've got to do your homework. You have to figure that out before you leave and factor in what the cost of that's going to be. So let's say you do the math and you say, okay, I need, I'm trying to give myself easy math here. I need $4,000 a month, and I'm 50 in order to retire and pay for my health care insurance and all my other expenses, right? And maybe you're going to live outside of the US, because again, that's the average number for somebody 65 and above. And those people have Medicare. Likely most of them have Medicare covering them for healthcare insurance. So let's just, for the sake of math, though, say $4,000 a month. Let's just round that up to $50,000 a year. So, the rule of 4%, you can just take the inverse of 4%, which is 25. You take 50,000, you multiply it by 25, you get $1.25 million. But you don't need that forever, right? You need that until Social Security is going to kick in. You need that until Medicare is going to kick in for you. So there's kind of the go-go years, which would be the time, in my example, you're living in Southeast Asia. And then there'll be the slow-go years, where you're 65. Hopefully 65 is not slow go. Hopefully slow go starts 70, 75. But you don't need that full amount that I mentioned at 50. You don't need that for the rest of your life, likely. You just need that to 65. So I hope that makes sense. I hope this video was useful. If it was, I know you're going to like this video up here that talks about the average retiree income in the United States, and this video down here that talks about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.